Thank you so much, Jasmine. I think we could hear from the crowd who they expect to win there, and I think on paper they're probably a safe bet as well. Luxonate 19-0 in series so far, looking to go 20-0 here tonight at the LAN. It's been some ride, hasn't it?
Crazy. Well, Waxer was telling me for raving about Luxonate. The crowd are going even crazy. I think you got to love the support for Luxonate, but they're just such a good team. 55-2 in matches, 19-0, swept Farnborough in their semi-final to get here. Scored 13 goals in that series, conceded 3.
And that's in the semi-final as well.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And my word, I think that guy in the crowd, I think Waxon needs to come and have a chat with him as well, doesn't he? Because Waxon's going to be absolutely fuming if Luxonate make as easy a meal of this grand final as they have of their season so far. Do you expect any sort of pushback?
I think we can expect some. I think we've seen AGSB come back from difficult games before. They saw it in the semi-final. They were down 3-1 against Wyke, and they came back and won it. But Wyke were a very good team, and I think very closely combated with AGSB, whereas Luxonate, they just have that little bit of an edge just above them, and they've got to kind of hopefully push themselves up to that level today. Hopefully the nerves maybe for Luxonate might kick in, which might give AGSB a bit more of a level playing field. But when Luxonate are firing on all cylinders, they're so difficult to beat.
Well, we saw Forth Valley Gamers 3-1 down in their semi-final and come back to win, and then go on to win in a clean sweep in their grand final championship series. But can we see a repeat of history? Because AGSB came back from 3-1 down in their semi-final to get the win. Can we see them clean sweep Luxonate in the grand final?
AGSB will be hoping so, but if Luxonate gets swept in the grand final, I'll lose it. I don't know what to do. They can't go this good in the season, drop 2 individual games all season, and then lose 4 in the grand final. Like, they must just completely capitulate at LAN and just be so much better online for that to happen, and I just don't see it. They looked warmed up in the waiting room. They seemed pretty ready. They seemed pretty excited, and I think they'll continue their run.
I mean, we spoke before about mental resiliency, and the pressure really is on. And I would say for both of these sides, there's definitely pressure on Luxonate as well, as they have to defend that outrageous record. But, I mean, almost all of the pressure is on AGSB right now. How do you prepare for a game like this?
I think that makes it a little bit better for AGSB, though. Maybe they know that they're maybe slightly the underdogs, so that might give them some confidence. Luxonate have got all this pressure. Their first time at LAN. Everyone expects them to deliver. I'm hyping them up. The crowd's hyping them up. So now they've got to deliver. They've got to get in there and not let that energy kind of take over, because you know you can get too hyped for a Rocket League game. You can start pushing balls that you shouldn't be going for, overcommitting, leave yourself wide open. AGSB get a couple of early goals. It could really change things.
So what are you saying to the AGSB players right now before they go into game number 1 of this best of 7?
It's all about keeping calm, isn't it? Keeping a cool head to make sure that they can get things going. Just start that rotation. I think the rotation is the most important thing. Not going for anything flashy. Just get the basics down. Make sure they're defending well, and then build on it from there, rather than starting at 100 miles an hour and then having to reel it in after conceding a couple of goals.
Well, on the flip side of that, what advice would you give to this Luxonate side? I mean, you touched on it before about how much pressure there is from everyone expecting a performance here. So how do you keep that under wraps?
I mean, on paper, just do what they've always been doing, right? It's easier said than done, of course, but they've just got to keep doing what they're doing, play their natural game, stay focused, because they're an unbelievable team. And I've seen AGSB go the distance with them in a series before, but obviously they're going to be nervous. Both teams are going to be nervous. Luxonate, the key thing about them is, like we saw from Jamsey in that last series, where perhaps he's a little bit better than his teammates, but they still got good teammates. Luxonate are just good across the board. 3 incredible players with Tommy, Awesome, Sushi. They just work so well as a team, constantly passing the ball, and they're just so strong together, and it makes it so difficult to break down.
You've just beaten me to my next question, so I'm going to ask you about the other team. Well, who do you expect to stand out for AGSB?
Oh, it's a good one. I think AGSB have got some really good players as well. But let me just take a look, because I remember a couple of the names, but I'm just trying to remember. Forks, of course, was one that I was pointing out earlier with some of the goals that he was scoring. I think they had Noodles early in the season, but I'm not sure if he's here now, because they've had about 4 or 5 different players on this roster, AGSB, in this season. But it's going to be difficult for them, isn't it? Let's see what Forks can do to try and help his side beat Luxonate.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Division 2 was a 4-0 clean sweep for Forth Valley Gamers. Are we going to see the same here in Division 1, or are we going to see something a little bit closer as we get into the final event of the evening here at the British Esports Championships. Rocket League Division 1 Finals, Luxonate Esports, the team in blue, head-to-head with AGSB Esports, the team in orange, and AGSB under early pressure here as they try to play out from the back line. Tommy's going to come across and get a touch, but he's beaten out by that 50. Sam in the midfield will cut that off. And he's going to try and get another touch. Tommy away and down the field. Nick's going to play it into the mid for Forks, who's just going to play it into the corner. And I think that was the safer option, given the amount of defenders they had on the line. Decent enough touch. The pressure just being sustained here by AGSB, and they certainly are not looking like they're lacking confidence here, are they, Astral?
Yeah, this is a great start for them, really putting the pressure on Luxonate, trying to catch them out maybe and do something that Luxonate aren't expecting. They finally got it clear. Luxonate and Awesome will collect that pass in the midfield as they try and work this one towards the box. There's a nice touch there. A shot is going on target, but Forks does an incredible job to tip that one into the post, keep it out. Luxonate look dangerous on the counter, but AGSB having opportunities of their own.
Awesome. Gets it as far as Nick, who's coming forward. Sam now with an opportunity, but Sushi closes it down rapidly at that front post. Tommy now able to get it away. The clear, losing possession for his team. Nick's been taken out, but Forks is able to find the pass, and there's no one in net. Forks flips out of the way, but the shot, no power, no accuracy, and a very, very good opportunity squandered for AGSB, who now have to defend a counter-attack. Awesome doesn't know what to do with that as the pass comes across from the AGSB player, and the team in orange just trying to get the ball away, and they do manage. They are putting up with this Luxonate pressure well, but to be honest with you, Astral, I'm really surprised at the aggression that we've seen from this orange team.
Oh, this could be a bit dangerous here. But yeah, indeed, AGSB have started a lot better than I thought, to be honest. And I've just noticed as well, they've got their coach Sigmoid on stage, which could be a huge help to them. Of course, he's got some Uni Rocket League experience, and he can help them keep a level head, as maybe there's a chance coming the way of AGSB. They couldn't quite get it on target, but they might have a second chance here if they can get it towards the middle. But Luxonate very quickly on it. Sushi in the right place, gets a dunk as well, which might open up things for Luxonate of their own, but a defender there again. And this is very back and forth, end-to-end stuff.
Awesome. Into the corner, he doesn't have any boost, but he'll manage to get the pass across. Tommy can't turn it on. Sam's able to pick up possession, loses the ball in the process. Sushi off of the backboard, the whiff there, going to be picked up by Nick, as he is in a good position to deal with the mistake and beats Tommy to it in the air as well. Sushi uncomfortable as he takes it onto his own backboard. No boost for Nick as he tries to find Forks with the pass. A counter-attack from the team in blue could be devastating here as the shot comes off. It's not on target, neither's the follow-up. Oh my word, that is very close indeed. AGSB clear their lines, and a counter-attack for them as we see this game go end to end so rapidly, Astral, but still without a goal.
Nerve-wracking as well, approaching the final minute, and nobody got a goal yet. That one's going to go wide as well. Maybe Luxonate going to take their time as Sushi is looking for the top corner, but it goes astray. There's a follow-up, a chance in the box. It's off the post. Tommy still can't convert it. This is not like Luxonate. They're not being clinical. They're wasting these chances, and AGSB are just waiting for that moment to counter, and here it comes from Nick.
Awesome's there, very, very calm under pressure. Gets the touch into his own corner, but he's taken off of the field. No one there to capitalize. Tommy's able to get this one out, picking up the mid boost as well so that he can sustain the pressure a little bit longer. But AGSB with the counter attack, trying to play downfield. Forks rushes into the corner a bit too aggressively. Sam able to slow things down on the defensive side of things, but it's going to be very, very difficult for them with Luxonate coming forward here. Maybe over-committing a little bit, but they do manage to keep the ball in orange territory. Nick now with the opportunity. Tommy closes it out in midfield as Sushi now into possession with 30 seconds left. He comes down, goes for the musty off of the ceiling. No luck. With 30 seconds remaining, a single goal will be the decider in game number 1 as Luxonate come forward hunting for it. Nick, able to get the defensive play off at the edge of the box, and he's put it across his own goal here into the corner. Sam now working with him to try and get this ball upfield and put some pressure on Luxonate in the closing stages of game 1, and it looks like we might be going to overtime as Luxonate get the ball out and down the wing. It's off on the sidewall. The shot from Sushi, almost unbelievable, but it's not quite enough, and AGSB hang on.
That would have been quite a way for Luxonate to end game 1, wasn't it? 0 seconds off the crossbar. They just couldn't quite keep it at. AGSB with a good opportunity here as well. The nerves must be building. Overtime in the first game. The first goal will decide the first game, and that's going to give a huge swing of momentum to one team. And AGSB looking to do it here. They've got to get past that first defender. That they do. There's a double commit, but it is dropping towards the edge of the box. Sushi needs a second touch. His teammates will help him out, and they'll cling on for now. But AGSB dealing some damage as well.
Nick takes out Tommy there and just puts Luxonate under even more pressure as AGSB come forward once again. It's a gorgeous double from Nick down the wing. He's created so much space but can't beat Sushi at the front post. Sushi, though, with the misplay there, somehow finds possession again, but he's given it to Sam. That is a very, very big mistake from Sushi at the back line to cost Luxonate game 1.
Yeah, just trying to take control, isn't he? Trying to slow it down, but Sam is aware of the situation. He says, we're not going to give you a second to breathe. Straight on that one, finishes it in. One goal. Wasn't the flashiest goal, but a very, very important one.
Well, and after only losing 2 individual games all season, they lose game 1 here in the championship final. Asteroid doesn't get much better than that for AGSB.
Yeah, maybe that's a sign of things to come. And they look good, didn't they? They hold the nerve. They didn't concede, and I think that was really important because we know how good Luxonate are in front of goal, and that's going to make Luxonate a little bit anxious about, can we score? How difficult is it going to be? What are we going to have to do differently? And AGSB, perfect time to score, wasn't it? But a very, very close game, and it looks like if it continues like this, it could be a long series.
Yeah, I mean, 0-0 into overtime in game 1. It really doesn't get any closer than that at all. And AGSB have done very, very well to exceed expectations here. But can they continue it? That really is the question.
Yeah, and it's fine. Of course, only 1 goal being scored and a mistake from Sushi, and we don't see mistakes like that from Luxonate very often. So they're going to have to start creating some more chances of their own and better ones. But same goes for Luxonate. I think both teams defending better than they're playing on the offense, and that's fine. It just builds a little bit more pressure, builds the nerves, and gets some more excitement when we see a goal.
Yeah, and a complete turnaround from what we saw in the Div 2 Championship finals, where both teams played much, much better going forward, but the defenses were a little bit of a shambles here. We've got kind of a defensive masterclass going on. Neither team conceding inside regulation time. Do you think that we're going to see more overtimes in this best of 7?
I think quite possibly. It might show a bit more to the players' experience, you know, that they're willing to, you know, commit to that defense before making any crazy mistakes going forward, because they're just a little bit of a higher level, these Division 1 players. Of course, they're well into that higher GC range, whereas the Division 2 guys, obviously into the champ level, but just a little bit lower down. And so these guys have got a bit more experience. They've got more composure on the ball, but we get game 2 underway. It's going to be just as chaotic, I'm sure. A couple of shots and saves and demos and everything. All hell is breaking loose, Elliot, in the first 10 seconds.
Sam not able to maintain possession. Forks is in the blue net, trying to get a demo, and it's not well timed. Tommy able to take the lead inside 20 seconds for Luxonate.
Couldn't score in 5 minutes, but they've done it in 19 here. Tommy with a brilliant redirect with some pace as well on that one. It was a difficult ball to get through, but connected with it very nicely, and that is a huge confidence builder for Luxonate. It's always difficult when you go down that early, but AGSB, of course, lots of time.
And we're going to have a technical pause here in the opening scenes of game number 2. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure who that favours, because Luxonate were just getting into the swing of things, and we are going to get straight back into it. But a little hiccup there could actually give AGSB a little bit more hope. I've said that, but we've come straight back in at Luxonate Esports. 2 goals to 0 now. It's not the best start in game 2 for AGSB.
Yeah, maybe AGSB was the team that just had a few issues, but Luxonate, obviously, they came out, they got the first goal, looked a bit more confident, just got that one there as we switched back over, which we didn't fully get to see, which is a bit of a shame. But now AGSB have got time. Let's slow it down. Let's start getting rid of these mistakes. You see another one there, forcing a defender to commit very early to that ball in the midfield because his teammate just didn't take time in the corner. Look at Sushi here going with an extra touch off the wall, forcing a save from Sam as the rotation starts to come in from Luxonate, ploughing the ball into that orange zone, and they really need to start dealing with it. That's a brilliant clear from Nick to get it downfield.
Sushi finds possession, and he's going to beat Forks in. No, he's not. Forks actually gets the touch and keeping that pressure on Luxonate. AGSB with the shot and sneaks it over the top of the last defender. Luxonate there, you can see the players actually clapping that goal because that is sublime. Yeah,
difficult angle for Sam, reads it perfectly. To get the power as well, to get it over that front keeper. A difficult shot to pull off and a really important goal, I think. Like you say, Luxonate clapping it. I think they knew they were well and truly beaten on that one. Of course, still in the lead, still got that 2-1 advantage, but some work to do for AGSB and looking like they're going in the right direction.
90 seconds gone in game number 2, and it is quite a change. Very big contrast to game number 1, where we didn't see a single goal for 5 minutes of gameplay, and now 3 inside the opening 90 seconds. I mean, it's exactly what we want to see as fans of Rocket League, isn't it? 2 fantastic teams going head-to-head to see who can score more. And I'm really, really excited to see what AGSB can do under this kind of pressure. They've managed to get one back on the board, which I think is really, really vital if they're going to find a result here in game 2, and plenty of time to do so as Luxonate try and keep them pinned in. Awesome with the pass over to Sushi in the midfield. Sam at the front post, uncomfortable, but finds an important touch into his own corner. Loose ball, picked up by Sam, and he gets a great pass off to the wing. Nick, fantastic car control as he comes off of the ceiling, but the pass leaves a little bit to be desired. Sam at the back line now struggling, but Awesome's pass won't find the blue player, and AGSB are able to clear again.
Yeah, it's good to see AGSB getting some passing plays going as they get another chance here, because Luxonate, we've seen them before, we saw them all throughout playoffs. They're a great team at linking up, finding those infield passes to pick out a teammate and working together so well. And AGSB doing a good job of shutting it down and getting their own chances here as they go forward once again. Sushi will get a chance to get that away, but Nick quickly on the wall. He's going to need an AGSB player up for this because Luxonate going to get a chance. Sushi converts it on the line, 3-1 to Luxonate.
You gotta love that goal steal from Sushi. I thought for a moment that might have been a keeper coming across for a last-minute save, but no, it's just Sushi risking saving the shot to put it in himself, and you can see Lux and they just laughing with each other there, and perhaps that is the beginning of their turnaround, as you can see the confidence starting to flow now.
Yeah, that positive energy thrown through the team is really going to help them inspire this comeback. Obviously only 1 game down at this point, but you can see, like you say, a much better performance now as Sushi's going forward again. Forks with an opportunity on the wall, but I think both of his teammates going back, and he's not got any boost either, so he's going to have to do it all on his own. He does actually beat 2, but can't get it all the way through, and now maybe a chance for Luxonate to go forward again. Cleared back down. AGSB dropping off the backboard, and they do get it clear. It's ping pong back forth for AGSB. Need 2 goals, and they've only got 1:30 to do it.
Tommy slows things down, gets the backflip hit into the corner, and somehow maintains possession as well. It's really, really nice play from him as Luxonate settle in, and they're not looking to rush anything as they move forward here. Awesome's pass not going to find anyone in the middle as both of his teammates are back defending the lead, and I think that goes to show that they are taking AGSB seriously. They're not expecting a walk in the park here.
No, they're definitely not. And Luxonate, they were generating some more passes there as well in the midfield. They're looking to add more goals, but I think they're also, like you say, they're making sure that they don't give anything else away, because if they give another goal to AGSB, and there's a chance there off the post for Luxonate, doesn't quite find the back of the net, and I think that would have put the game to bed almost certainly. So AGSB can't afford to concede another goal now with just 50 seconds to go.
Nick, touch into the middle. Tommy's going to be there first, and we need to see a little bit more urgency from AGSB if they want to get back into game number 2, because Luxonate's starting to dominate here in the late stages as they come forward once again. Sushi's beaten in the air. Nick with the pass into midfield, but it's only going to find a player in blue, and now Tommy with the whiff gives Sam an opportunity, but Sushi will be first to the ball. Forks clear out to the right-hand side. Sushi with the disruption play, able to stop him getting anywhere with it, and this game is Luxonate's. Tommy puts it to bed, finds his hat-trick in game number 2, and it's been quite a turnaround from Luxonate Esports.
Yeah, this is what Luxonate can do when they're firing on form. A nice backboard read for Tommy there, just beating the defender quicker to the ball, and AGSB now know that they've got a lot of work to do. They know they're going to be playing against a very good team, and Luxonate finally showing it. Well, Elliot, we know for sure now we're not going to get a sweep, so there's a good start. We're going to have a more competitive series than the last one. Let's hope that the other games can continue to be as good as this one. Another chance coming their way. AGSB will get a goal back. I think 7 seconds is a little bit too little time, but you know, it's a confidence builder for the next game, if nothing else.
No, what do you mean? This is still doable. A couple of kick-off goals, they can still win this inside regulation, Astral. Come on, show a bit of faith. But no, in all seriousness, it is a really nice way to build confidence coming into game number 3, because AGSB
looks like another one.
The best luck, have they? And now Sushi finds his second with 1 second left on the clock. It's not been the best game for AGSB, but I think that they've still shown that they are very, very much still in this final.
Yeah, but Luxonate have They've ripped the band-aid off, haven't they? AGSB have been well and truly waxened in this game. 5 and 2, 1 second left, which just makes it that little bit more brutal as AGSB have to play the kickoff again. But 1-1, they won the first game by a single goal, but Luxonate now showing they can score 5 in a single game if AGSB don't pay full attention and they let a few chances slip.
Absolutely appalling. I don't think you really thought I was going to let you get away with that. That is horrendous. If we weren't live right now, I'd have to show you the door. That is appalling, and I'm sure Waxon is shaking his head somewhere. But it's 1-1 in the series now. Best of 7. A long way to go for both of these teams, and it actually kind of turns it into a best of 5 now. And I'm wondering, who do you think has the favour? Who do you think has the momentum? I mean, Luxonate won that game, but AGSB still looking very, very difficult to beat.
I think I'd argue Luxonate, you know, they scored 5 goals, and AGSB, I think if you were 1-1 right now, you'd rather win the second game because it gives you that momentum flowing through, and of course, scoring 5 goals as well is a big thing compared to obviously that only 1-0 win for AGSB in the first game, and it showed they had a solid defense, but to go from conceding nothing to conceding 5 shows that, you know, there's a few defensive mistakes in there that they're going to have to iron out. Sigmoid's going to have to re-rally those AGSB boys coming into this third game.
Yeah, no, who do you think is going to stand out in terms of Luxonate? Because you've told me before, I mean, you said right before the series, right? They're all as good as each other, but who's standing out for you so far in the series?
I mean, you've got to give credit to Sushi for a start, stealing that goal on the goal line and giving a bit of good vibes to his team, I think. Tommy is always a dangerous one I like to look out for. He can cause some serious trouble in front of the goal. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to take too much away from Awesome either because they're so good. But I'm thinking right now probably going to be Tommy.
Game 3 is underway, and it is very early pressure for Luxonate, who have almost scored twice inside 20 seconds, but the key word there is almost. And AGSB are only going to see 0-0 on the scoreboard, but it won't be 0-0 for long at this rate. Luxonate coming forward will not be stopped, and this is starting to look more like the Luxonate Esports that we saw all season long.
Yeah, and you can see Nick there had no boost, and then Forks quickly ran out, just had a couple of pads. Forks ended up bumping his teammate out of the way as well. They need to get this communication sorted quickly. Luxonate haven't closed them down probably as quickly as they should have, and that's going to give them a minute to breathe and allow them to get the ball clear. But if they keep getting boost starved, Elliot, it's going to cause so many problems, and they're not going to be able to get out of their own half. It's good to see them doing it here, though. A good chance into the middle, but again, Luxonate pounce. There's nobody home for AGSB. It just needs to get round it, but they will get somebody back and get it clear to the corner.
And a good demo there from Sam on Tommy will open things up. He's going to push forward now, keeping the pressure on that freshly demoed player as he respawns. Tommy at the front post isn't going to be able to stop, but he will manage to doink that across into the relative safety of his own corner. AGSB threatening here, just trying to bang passes up off of the backboard. Sushi's whiff there will open things up for Sam, but he decides not to go for it. Maybe not got enough boost to feel confident enough to go. Forks finding demos on 2 blue players here. And I think that actually does serve AGSB well to try and get some disruption plays.
Yeah, almost certainly. They want to take out these players, stop them linking up and being a unit, because as we've said before, Luxonate, that is how they operate, being just solid, so coordinated and working as a team. And AGSB have struggled with that a little bit. There's been times where they could have communicated a little bit better. There's been a few too many double commits, but they're back on the offense now. They don't seem shaken from conceding 5 in the previous one because it's still 0-0. They're still going forward, and a demo might take Awesome off the field as well, but Tommy's still going to be there to make a save. They just need that little bit more in the final third to find this goal.
Nick comes forward, gets turned away by the defense. Luxonate starting to struggle under this pressure, and the shot is almost going to slip by, but Sam with the follow-up finds the lead to AGSB, and we really do have a series on our hands.
Yeah, great performance. You can see the AGSB boys fired up by that one. Such an important goal. They had a pressure for a good minute or more, but they got to make it count. You've got to get the goal, otherwise it doesn't mean anything. And finally, Sam gets it over the line as we get just about to the halfway mark as well. Luxonate now thinking, okay, we scored 5 in the previous one, but AGSB, they're not going to lie down. They're coming straight back out in game number 3.
I think Sigmoid's been watching the Euros, hasn't he? He's been taking some lessons from Gareth Southgate, because 1-0 up as his players celebrate. Absolute stony face there, cold. So he's just reserved, isn't he? He doesn't want to get too far ahead of himself. They've got a long way yet to go, and with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in game 3, AGSB would love to double their lead here, and they're playing out once again. Nick picking it up in the midfield. Awesome's going to get beaten at the back line. 12 boost for Nick. He doesn't have enough to wrap his car around it properly, and Sam will pick it up again at the midfield. AGSB just not allowing Luxonate out of their own half, and wow, there's not been too many teams. In fact, there's not been a single team that's managed to keep Luxonate pressed into their own half in this entire season.
No, these two teams played out in league play as well. It was 3-1 in favour of Luxonate. So if AGSB can take a second game, they've already done a lot more and they're already showing how much better they can be. They're continuing this pressure constantly, aren't they? They're not giving Luxonate a moment to breathe because they know as soon as Luxonate get forward, there can be trouble. A ball coming into him, Nick towards the box. Sushi, he's on top of it before anybody else, but the pressure's not got a second chance. Sam finishes it off. AGSB go 2-0 up.
Fantastic effort here from Sam, who sets himself the hit down off of the ceiling, leaving Awesome with very little that he can do except pretty jump and hope for the best. And Sam's done well to follow up aggressively and just shut the player down on the goal line. AGSB do indeed double their lead. And with just over a minute left on the clock, they need to see this one out. But can they park the bus, or is that even the right thing to do against a team like Luxonate?
Nearly a goal back for Luxonate then. I'm not sure it is. I don't think you want to give Luxonate that kind of time and space because you know what they're capable of. Look at this pass from Tommy here. It gets shut down just in the nick of time, but you don't want to give these players any chances, Elliot. They've got incredible mechanical ability and they can cause damage. What they've been doing, just keeping them in their half, is the best way to go. Nick's got a backboard read. Can he turn it on target? Tommy forced into a very difficult save. 50 seconds to go, Elliot. Luxonate need 2.
Awesome. Looking for Sushi, but closed out rapidly by Nick. Forks isn't going to be able to find a touch. Nick with possession. Cheeky flick, but he won't find a successful one over Tommy, who will now look to get a 0 boost pass into mid. No such luck. Forks takes over. Good comms from AGSB as they break down into the other half once again. We are in the final 30 seconds of game 3 here as Nick turns 180 degrees with the power slide in midfield to pick up possession. And they're slowing the ball down beautifully. They're playing it into the corners so well. And they look like a very experienced team here, AGSB, just keeping calm and composed under pressure as they put game 3 to bed. That is beyond a doubt now. And the lead in the series, to be honest with you, they've just doubled the amount of games that Luxonate have lost all season. They've got to feel with some confidence right now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, it's November to July. They lost 2 maps. They've just lost 2 in one night. Incredible. They're now 55-4, and all of a sudden I think AGSB are just feeling they're getting a little bit closer to winning this one. They looked a lot more confident, didn't they? They took it to them from the get-go. They never let up on that pressure. Luxonate had a few good chances. They definitely should have scored, but AGSB the better side for sure.
But are they going to be able to put it to bed? That's the question. I mean, it's not championship point yet. They still have a couple of games between them and the trophy. And Luxonate are certainly not going to go down without a fight. So what are you telling both of these sides between games 3 and 4?
Well, AGSB have just got to continue that momentum, haven't they? They had it so good, but it's back and forth now. You know, AGSB won game 1. Luxonate won game 2. Now AGSB won game 3. So if Luxonate can come out again after losing, it seems like both teams are playing better after a loss than after a win. It is difficult to continue it for that long period of time playing at that energy. So they're going to have to find what they did in the previous games. And I think for AGSB, that's continuing the pressure. As for Luxonate, the same thing goes. I think both teams are just better on the offense right now, and they just want to be in the opposition's half all the time, forcing errors.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that, because in the first game of this series, we were saying the exact opposite. Both teams looked comfortable in defense, and it looked like it was going to be a game of very, very defensive postures. But now, AGSB are taking so much advantage of the fact that Luxonate are better going forward, and if they can keep this pressure up, then we might see the upset of the season.
Yeah, it would be an incredible upset, and I think everyone will be excited for it. Maybe not some of the guys in the crowd that were cheering for Luxonate, but sometimes it's got to happen. Sometimes giants have to fall, and maybe this is AGSB's night tonight. That Sushi's going to get a demo, though, and look for a shot. Luxonate, not if they have anything to say about it. They get an early lead.
Well, Goliath is not going to suffer a defeat at David's hands very easily, and Luxonate, 25 seconds into game 4, find the lead after going without a goal for the entirety of game 3. That's going to certainly get them back in the swing of things.
And we saw the exact same thing in game 2 as well to add, but AGSB with a very quick answer. Nick finding the bottom corner. Perfect placement, perfect start of the kickoff for AGSB.
And I think the confidence really has changed hands here. The AGSB players just starting to look like they're having fun. Luxonate looks stressed.
Yeah, they do, and now it's back and forth. It's still level, though, of course. Luxonate, I think it's always disappointing when you get a lead to then throw it away immediately. Luxonate nearly taking themselves back into the lead again as Tommy got a demo, and it looks like they're going to start things back up. A ball towards the middle could cause trouble. It's a good save from Forks to keep it level. Maybe a chance for a counter.
Decent work there from Awesome to play off of his own backboard, and Sushi with a follow-up touch is going to come straight to Sam. Forks now up with good comms. Sushi will take out Nick, and now the goal's open, but Nick should be back from the demo just about in time to get this downfield, and he'll follow himself. Forks is there as well. Nick able to turn away and allow Sam to come and pick it up. Finds the pass across to Forks, but it's going to be closed down by the Luxonate team as they play out of defense. Sushi now just popping that one. Sneaky as well, because that was dropping just under the bar. Forks at the near post has to make a save, and I think Forks has settled down a bit. In the first couple of games, he was a little bit too jumpy for my liking. He was chasing the ball, double committed a couple of times, but he's made some important saves already here in Game 4, and I think AGSB are starting to settle into it a little bit.
Yeah, there was a double commit for him there as well, though, just before he made that save, but I think he realised that he sort of overextended his boundaries a little bit, dropped back in and was in the right position second time around to get the save where his teammates needed him. Luxonate continuing the momentum, but it's a slower offense for definite, and we've seen a few misses from both teams as it starts to sort of peter out a bit to more like Game 1. I think Game 1 was obviously tense, the nerves were high, and they just wanted to win that first game. It did open up, but it is easing a little bit, but maybe that's going into the favour of AGSB, who just want to slow things down, stop Luxonate from being so much on the aggression as they have been in the last minute. Because a shot from Nick. There's no one home. There's no one home. Nick's found it.
What's happened? I think Luxonate need to call Kevin McAllister, because if they're going to leave the house unguarded, someone's going to have to do something to stop this onslaught.
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to... This twice now you've dropped these terrible jokes. He's blaming me for the Waxen one, and now he's coming out with these mid-game. It's absolutely criminal, but AGSB won't care. They're delighted. And whatever Sigmoid's telling them, it's certainly working so far, because this team have been probably better in this game than they've been all season long. It's the first time they've took 2 games off AGSB all season since November, so let's see what they can do about it. Looking for a third as well. Nick's ball nearly going over the top. Awesome was back this time around. It was him who wasn't on the back post for the previous goal, but AGSB continuing the momentum, looking for more shots, making sure Luxonate don't get a moment to breathe.
Forks in the midfield does well to keep calm under that pressure, and now all 3 players pushing up here. Nick not getting carried away, allows Forks to play it across the blue goal. And with over 2 minutes left on the clock, a 1-goal lead is not going to settle this game. And AGSB cannot sit back and relax just yet. They need to keep applying this pressure to Luxonate Esports if they want to make sure they go on to championship point heading into game number 5. But Luxonate aren't going to lie down. Tommy trying to come forward. Sam with that disruption play and the boost steal at the midfield. And I think that really is a visual metaphor for the way that these games have played out so far.
And Sushi with an important demo there. It looked like AGSB were just starting to set up a shield wall a bit, starting to sit back more than they have so far this game. A good chance here for Forks, but the read is going to be a little bit too difficult. Just above and behind him, and a challenge it was. Luxonate with a chance, but AGSB still got 2 back as they try and come forward for another. Nick will take a read. He's 0 boost though, and he might need a teammate's help, and he does get it. That nearly dropping towards the top corner. It was just denied by the crossbar, but Elliot, this is ping-pong back and forth, and either team could score next.
It's up. It's loose in the midfield. Tommy will beat the orange player to the ball. He's going to allow Sushi to come in here, but that touch, never going to find anyone in his team, and AGSB are able to get out again. Luxonate starting to crumble here, Astral. They are not dealing with this pressure well, and AGSB take advantage and find their third. Yeah,
Luxonate, the fuel seems to have disappeared from the fire at the minute. It's petering out, it's not burning, and AGSB find a third as Sam's just sat on the goal. He's offside, ref, he's offside. Lines, but VAR, come on, somebody sort him out.
Oh my word, we need goal line technology for this. I don't believe AGSB have taken a 2-goal lead, and we mentioned it half jokingly that the team who came back from 3-1 down in their semi-finals won the Division 1 final. And could we see AGSB, who came back from 3-1 down in their semi-final, win in the Division 1 Championship finals here? I don't know if they can, but they're certainly on their way, looking to go 3-1 up in the grand finals here, and only 22 seconds standing between them and that result, as Tommy Plays it round the corner. Luxonate just looking for a goal back here. They can't get back into it. And there's 10 seconds left and AGSB clear the ball again. Luxonate lose game number 4 and AGSB move on to championship points.
Yeah, and a great play you saw there from Sam. Showed the confidence from AGSB. A fake on a second defender and then flicking it over the final one. There was no one outfield because I think they knew they just wanted to defend that lead towards the end of the game. But maybe Luxonate is setting up for that 3-1. We've seen other teams do it. Now Luxonate want their own piece of the pie. They want a 3-1 comeback on a LAN. They're making it difficult for themselves, but you know what? It could be done.
Well, we keep hammering on this point, but it really does warrant bringing up again. November to July, they lose 2 games. The entirety over 9 months. And then tonight here inside 1 series, they've already lost 3. I mean, hats off to AGSB.
Yeah, they've kept their composure, haven't they? They've really handled this situation well. They've come in focused and they've not let off. And it was a little bit shaky that game too, of course, conceding 5 goals, but they bounced back from it. And their defense has been much better since then, conceding a lot less goals, getting forward when opportunities come. And a 3-1 win, it's pretty much perfect. You'd like a clean sheet, but 3 goals is pretty handy to get a victory.
Well, what do you do if you're Luxonate now, 3-1 down in the championship? You've never been beaten before, at least not this season. How do you turn that around?
I think there's a bit of nerves coming in from some of these players. It looks like Sushi's playing well, and I think he's pretty motivated, but I think he needs to give some more energy to his 2 teammates because those 2 seem a little bit not quite up to usual form, and I just see Sushi chasing the ball, trying to do a bit too much, perhaps because his teammates are sitting back. I think they need the confidence to just go for some of those balls when they're dropping towards the box. We've seen a few times them coming towards the edge of the area, and there's no follow-up quick enough from Luxonate. They're scared to overcommit and give away a chance on the counter to AGSB, who do like to defend, it seems, but Luxonate, they've got to go at it now. They've got to really get on the offense, get this opening goal.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, game number 5 of this best of 7 championship point in favour of the team in orange, AGSB Esports, but they're under pressure early on here. Luxonate really could use an early goal to just give them a little bit more confidence, get them on some secure footing, and just get a grip on this series because they've not been beaten yet in this season, and it looks like it might be the very first time in this championship final, so they need to turn this around and quickly as Sushi gets the pass off to Tommy. Tommy plays into the corner. Nick dangerously across his own net, but lucky for him, no one in blue is going to be able to challenge that in time. And now Forks with 0 boost is just going to slow play this up the wing. Mugs Tommy in the corner, doesn't find the disruption on Sushi. Luxonate trying to play out, but they're not working together as a team right now, Astron. And I think that fear of overcommitting is actually stopping them from putting any plays together.
Yeah, well, you saw Nick play a ball across his own goal, and you would expect a Luxonate player to be there to close that down, to stop AGSB getting out of their own half, and there was just no one there. Nick just had time to dribble it all the way down the side of the field, keep control, even with no boost. He didn't have to be urgent. He was just cool, calm, collected, and they're piling on the pressure again. Luxonate don't have an answer right now. Awesome pulled out a demo at the start. Maybe we need to see a few more of those. He's trying to force it through Nick, but that Fennec is not going anywhere. A brick wall rooted to the spot, and AGSB continue to pile on the pressure.
No goals yet for either side, almost 2 minutes into game 5. Forks coming down on that. Nick's a little bit too close behind him, but Sam's able to deal with it. No pressure from Luxonate is certainly not something I thought I'd be saying coming into this series, and they're just struggling to get going. And if they can find a goal here, I think we might see that turn around. But to be honest with you, I think if they don't score first, I think AGSB win.
Yeah, they need that confidence boost, don't they? They need that opening goal. AGSB, though, have had the offense, but they've not scored. And we've seen that before. Bite teams, they can crumble because they have so many good chances. They don't score. They get a little bit down, a little bit demotivated, and the other team pounces when that opportunity occurs. Luxonate have got to find it. Here's a good one towards the middle. Tommy will sweep it back into the offense again. He's looking to find a teammate. He can't quite connect on the end of the pass, and that gives AGSB a chance to come the other way again. Looking towards the back corner, gets a demo, but doesn't find the goal.
Superb work from Nick to play that all the way down the length of the field, and that is some way to score the opener. And Luxonate, you can see the relief in their faces now.
Yeah, the let's go screams coming out. A great calculated pinch, it has to be said. That was what they needed. That was really what they needed to boost up their confidence, give them some energy, and now say, look, AGSB, come back at us. We scored this great pinch goal. How are you going to deal with it?
And you can see the size of relief from Luxonate, but they are not out of the woods yet by any stretch of the imagination. And a double commit coming forward from the orange team won't be punished rapidly enough because Forks is there to follow up, and a defensive double commit there from Awesome and Sushi. It's not going to help, but Luxonate do have the lead with 2 minutes left in game 5, and now they're trying to double that. Nick able to get a touch, but it's awkward. Awesome shot turned away by Forks on the back line. The backboard pass from Sushi, not going to find a player in blue as Tommy tracks back and defends that. Good shadow play. But they need to be further up. We're seeing this time and time again, Astral. As the ball comes across the orange net, it's just an easy clear because there's no one challenging.
Yeah, and it's important to keep that third man back and make sure you don't concede on the counter. Of course it is, but if you don't have a second man anywhere near the goal, you're just going to miss so many opportunities, and it's happened for them time and time again. Luckily, Luxonate still in the lead. AGSB coming in with another chance, but only a minute 20 to do it. And if Luxonate pinched this game by a single goal, well, that pinch will have gone down a treat as an incredible piece of strategy to try and win them the game. A Cooks here pinch goes the other way, maybe a chance for AGSB to get another counter, but Luxonate starting to shore up that defense. The backboard reads are getting a little bit better, and I don't want to cast this cursed it here. It is going to go away off the bar, and another shot from AGSB should get saved as well.
1 minute remaining here in game 5. It's still AGSB's championship point as Luxonate feeling that pressure, try to defend their own net. Tommy off of his own backboard and out. Sushi's there in time to get the 50 with Sam as Tommy plays it downfield but doesn't even follow up immediately. He will find a 50 in the corner though, and he's driven it round 2. Once again, no one in the middle to pressure Sam, and I think that not only are they losing out on opportunities like that, but they're also taking so much pressure off of the defense for the team in orange.
Almost certainly, and they don't need a goal. Let's put it this way, they've got a lead, luckily, in this game. I mean, you could say luckily, I think it was a bit of strategy in there, it has to be said. They definitely called it beforehand, but obviously it definitely couldn't have gone their way, and it went perfectly down the middle. Sushi with another good chance, though. It's under the bar. Is there a follow-up? There isn't. It's not quick enough. AGSB, 5 seconds for the counter-attack. Forks has to get it out, but Tommy's not going to let him through, and that's going to drop down 1 second. Sam's not got the boost to keep it up, though. It's going to hit the floor. Luxonate begin their comeback.
That's not something I thought we'd hear at all. Luxonate somehow the underdogs here heading into game 6. But that attempt at the end there where it just cross the open orange net is, I mean, just a perfect example of what I was talking about, because that should have been buried immediately. But it wasn't. And you could say maybe they're just trying to shore up the defense, park the bus. They're already a goal up. It's the dying stages. Don't overcommit. But when are you going to start putting the pressure on?
Yeah, and Luxonate is normally so ruthless in front of goal, and we mentioned that so much on the build-up and how good they are, but they're just not doing it, are they? I think they've got to be a little bit nervous, and it did work for them in that game. Sitting back did work, so you've got to give them a bit of credit for that, but they definitely probably, I don't want to say they were a better team, I think it was pretty even, but obviously that pinch goal, the difference maker. Can that happen again, though? I don't know. They're going to have to be getting players on the goal line again, like we said, because those chances with the pinches, they don't come very often.
Yeah. And only 2 shots there for AGSB in that entire game. That's a little bit of a change of pace as well.
Yeah, I think certainly. They had a lot more pressure, I think, than what those 2 shots show, but failing to convert them and get them on target, I think, is the key message, and it didn't force Luxonate to perhaps be under as much pressure, weren't as challenged as maybe they should have been, and that's why they defended, kept that clean sheet for the whole 5 minutes. Luxonate, obviously, with the single goal. Here we go again.
Well, still championship point for AGSB here in Game 6. Luxonate trying to take this all the way as things start to heat up here in Nottingham. Nick back in time to defend the open net. That demo on Sam was absolutely ruthless, and Luxonate, I mean, you can tell the aggression coming out here at the beginning of Game 6 is definitely stepped up from what we saw before. They are not going to lie down, and look at that. Pass comes across. Tommy is straight there to try and close it down. And their demos. How many demos is this inside 30 seconds? I think that's already 5.
It's a smart move, and to give Sushi a chance as well. Nick was forced into a difficult save, but it's put them out of boost and in a bad situation. AGSB handling it fairly well for now, and looks like that ball's going to go astray. Sushi can't read it that easily, and it will slow the game down a little bit, give them a breather, but definitely a better start from Luxonate in the opening minute. Failing to convert there, which has been a story pretty much all series long.
A minute into Game 6. No goals for either team as of yet. But demo coming out from Forks on Tommy leaves the blue goal open, and a taste of their own medicine there. Luxonate Esports have their defense wiped out, and the goal goes to AGSB.
Yeah, I think Awesome panicking in the corner there. He missed the ball on the wall. I think the better option was to wait in the goal, considering the difficulty of that bounce. The shot from AGSB, not that powerful, but the nerves once again hitting onto Awesome, and AGSB get themselves into the lead, looking to close the series out. Couldn't do it last time, but they're up in the lead and they're in a very good situation. Luxonate have got to start getting forward and working as a team. We're missing those infield passes right now that they're so known for.
Oh, here they are. Oh my word. Sushi going to be turned away by Sam. Tommy overcommitting into the corner a little bit as Sam plays downfield. All on his own. Lifts it over the keeper, and that is sublime.
Oh, great piece of control. Look at this. Gets the touch, flicks it over the top. Sushi just takes it round him, dribbles it over the last defender and touches it as well. He beat all three pretty much there. The second man couldn't do much about it after. AGSB confidence is flowing. 3-3-3 on the clock, and Luxonate need a few more minutes than that. I think at this rate, they've not even got themselves settled, have they, at all? They've been shaken. They're trying to get forward. They've got another chance here, though, and Tommy will get one back. That is what they need.
I saw Sigmoid crack a smile after that second goal, but I don't think he'll be smiling now because Luxonate, I mean, that's the Luxonate that we know and love. What a play.
Yeah, good finish there. A nice pass into the corner. It was really well read by Tommy. He had that on, definitely, before it was bouncing. He knew exactly where it was going to go, and AGSB just didn't have time to react. Luxonate coming through for another one. Forced into a difficult save is Nick, and a follow-up shot that he'll get rid of as well. Back-to-back saves to keep AGSB in the lead of this one, but Luxonate starting to pick up a bit of pace, aren't they, has to be said.
Whiff there in the midfield, but Sushi will be back in time to defend the eventual pressure from AGSB as Nick comes forward. Awesome. Gets beaten to the ball by Sam. Forks now going to take this one up, and he doesn't have the boost to follow it, so I'm not sure what he's planning, but Nick's there to pick it up in the mid. 2-1 is the score here, only a goal in it, but Luxonate need to find an equaliser because otherwise AGSB will take the championship, and Tommy's going to be the one to try and do just that as he gets closed down by Nick on the wing. Awesome now with the 50 into midfield. No one in blue going to challenge immediately. Sushi with the pass to the edge of the penalty box, but there's no one there, Astral, and I don't know how many times I could say it before they finally start getting a second man in the box.
Yeah, you're a broken record at this point, but they're just not seeing it, are they? They're not seeing the opportunities that they're wasting, unfortunately. And it's time and time again now. Awesome, 68 points after 3 minutes in this game. Not really making an impact. Maybe it could have been him in the middle to try and convert these shots. As the pressure comes back from AGSB again, they look for a third, a good chance. Sushi just shuts it down, and now is the counter opportunity, the pass towards the middle. Forks is just a step ahead. That save, phenomenal.
Sushi. Just floundering in the corner there. As Nick gets a flick over one, Sam's immediately on it. Takes it into the corner. Sushi's going to be able to clear it out. Forks is uncomfortable. It's a really nice touch from Tommy, but he can't bring it under control. And now Awesome's alone at the back. He'll get there first, though. And it's a dominant clear as he gets this out and over the top. Tommy to the edge of the box. Sushi's going to play it back in. Tommy's up. Sam's there as well, but down off of the ceiling. That's a bump and a half. It's Nick not able to find the touch. Where is the challenge from the team in blue here? Luxonate not capitalising. They are coming forward. Tommy's shot.
Oh, no, they've doubled.
The triple, all of the team is forward. AGSB able to get it downfield, but not able to capitalise on the mistake. Luxonate.
Oh, it's on the goal line. It's in. Sam converts it as well.
What on earth has happened, Astral?
Luxonate, they needed a player on the line. There was nobody there to finish it. And I think they realised that, panicked, sent 2 players in for the backboard aerial. Both of them miss it and leave themselves wide open. They did get a player back in time, but it wasn't enough. AGSB had all the confidence going forward with the pace. Luxonate, they had to take that opportunity, and then you saw it was frantic. And now they need 2 goals to get to this game 7. And AGSB just build confidence from that extra goal now with less than a minute to go. It's really, really difficult here for Luxonate.
Well, to say that AGSB were the underdogs coming into this series would be quite the understatement, but they have done so well, and now 44 seconds stands between them and the victory here in the championship finals as they almost bag a 4th. Tommy's going to play it out and downfield. Luxonate with half a minute now to score 2 goals and bring them back into this game number 6 and hopefully take it to a game 7. It doesn't look likely. AGSB really doing what they can to park the bus here, and they almost find the 4th. Luxonate with a fantastic save, but Sam's there. Another immense save on the goal line, but with 12 seconds left, it is going to be too little too late. Luxonate need a miracle. Sushi's trying to take it round the corner, but he's been dispossessed. Sam takes it. Luxonate Esports have lost their first series all season, and it is the championship final. AGSB are the victors.
Incredible. Look at the team there, fist pumping the coach, delighted with that performance. 19-0, wanted that 20-0, not going to happen. 19-1 for Luxonate. AGSB, what a performance.
Unbelievable. It's you can't overstate it, can you? David and Goliath has ended with Goliath on the floor lying in a pool of his own blood. He doesn't know what's happened, and Luxonate must be reeling.
Yeah, I think they're going to be crushed by that one. To go the whole season undefeated and to lose in the grand final, it's going to hurt. Maybe the LAN is just a little bit more difficult for them. Maybe online is where they need to be, but AGSB, what a huge step up from them. It was a big game for them, and they really, really turned up the heat, didn't they? Look at this pass in the middle there from Luxonate. I can't believe that one didn't go in to end the game, and that could have changed everything because AGSB went on to win that game. Yeah,
game number 1, and I think you're right. To be honest with you, I think if that goal right there had gone in, we see Luxonate walking away with the trophy right now, but it didn't. That's the way it works, especially with the goal frames in this game. It's not ever going to work out in the player's favour. And I mean, Tommy just showing how good he can be with a goal like that. The redirect, they're capable of so much, and they proved it all season long. But unfortunately, they just couldn't handle the pressure at the final hurdle. Yeah, it was the consistency that I liked. That game 2 was phenomenal. That was the Luxonate we know and love. A 5-2 victory with some incredible goals, like you saw there, that incredible one coming in from Tommy that just showed, like you said, what he was capable of. And they scored some phenomenal goals. Again, another one here dropped in, and then Sushi just stole it on the goal line. They got so many goals in this game, and then for the rest of the series, they just couldn't find one. They were just so scared, weren't they, because they were down in the series. And you can't be nervous, you can't be scared. You've got to take your chances and get forward in Rocket League, because even with 10 seconds left, there's always an opportunity to get back into the game. Yeah, I mean, and you could see it there as well with Tommy scoring that goal where he just followed up so rapidly. And that's what Luxonate just weren't doing by the end of it. See, look, Sushi right here, he's there. He's pounced on the opportunity and he bags the goal. And obviously it didn't matter at that point. They were already going to win, but they just fumbled. They weren't able to get themselves together, and Sam, amazing performance from him. Do you know what? All 3 players, I think Forks took a little bit longer than the other 2 to get into it, but even he made some critical plays in that final. Yeah, I would agree. I think definitely the duo of Sam and Nick, with those 3-letter names, just standing out amongst the crowd, those 2 were absolutely phenomenal. I think Sam a little bit more on the defensive side of things, but came forward and did his job as well. And they just worked together so well as a team. Luxonate, they couldn't find the link up. They didn't have the synergy that we've seen all season long. The goals were few and far between. That was a great finish from Sushi. It seemed like Sushi, though, just was doing it all on his own at the front. And I think we didn't see the other 2 get forward enough, and I think that was the problem for Luxonate. Nick there in the midfield, just closing it down and all on his own, finds the back of the net. And Luxonate's defense just really wasn't there towards the end, was it? No, it really wasn't. I think that the heat was starting to get to them. They knew they needed a big comeback and to win a lot of games in a row, and the pressure adds even more than Sam just getting that nice convert on the goal line. And some of these goals, I mean, this one from Sam, look at that fake, then the confidence. This one didn't, I think, end up getting scored by him, but it's a great play regardless, and it showed how comfortable they were going forward. So, Astral, I mean, it went without saying sort of in Division 2, but who's your Division 1 most valuable player of this championship final? Look, we said it had to be between Nick and Sam, didn't I? think I'm going to have to go with Sam. I think his composure, his control on the ball, his chances created, I think a great performance from Sam, and it has to be him for me. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic effort from all 3 players. Sam carries Frodo in the ring into Mount Doom, and then carries Nick and Forks to victory at the championship final of the British Esports Championships. Let's head back to Jasmine with the players.
Everybody here, I want to see you guys congratulate our winners of Division 1 Rocket League Student Champs, AGSB. Sorry, take it. All right. All right, so which one of you guys here is Forks? All right, this here is for you, sir. How have you found your student champs journey so far?
I mean, it's been great. It's definitely been a long journey. It's been like, 10 months of us playing with each other, all come down to like one series. So obviously, really glad to get the W.
And have you got anything you want to say to everybody in the crowd here? They've been cheering you on furiously. You guys are a great crowd, by the way.
I mean, the support's been mad. Like, we could hear you on stage. So yeah, just thanks for that. Thanks to all our parents, friends at home supporting us. School as well for enabling us to come down. Hey, HSR, of course, the student server. British Esports for obviously organising everything. They have like really clean production, put on a great event for us. So yeah, thanks to everyone.
All right, well, I'm not going to stop you guys from holding up your trophy. Go for it, guys. Stuff. We're going to send you guys off for an in-depth interview about the games that we just witnessed. But without further ado, let's go straight back to our casters and talk about the MVP.
Fantastic. I mean, you love to see all 4 players there getting to raise the trophy one by one, having fun with it. And honestly, I can't blame them at all. I'm really, really glad that they're enjoying themselves because they thoroughly deserve it. What a way to come away with the trophy at the end of a very hard-fought series, not just series, but season. Coming against Luxonate, you had to think that they probably expected to lose it.
Yeah, I think probably. And maybe that pressure got to Luxonate. And obviously we mentioned Sam. He was probably the MVP, but I think we gave a shout out just off air there to Sigmoid, and I think a coach can help so much. I think the power of a coach can't be underestimated at this level in Rocket League, and I think he has to be a little underrated MVP to help his team, keep rallying them when they're down. And Luxonate maybe just didn't have that, help them keep focused. It's a really, really vital part of the game.
Absolutely, and he will have been in their ears as well, telling them what to do, how to stay calm, and just that little bit of an edge is sometimes all it takes. And obviously, I think another thing to mention is the fact that it has been a couple of months since the semi-finals, and it looked like AGSB have been practicing hard in their downtime.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. That they were just clinical. They always had someone in the box that Luxonate didn't. And I think maybe the nerves got to Luxonate a little bit. I think they were nervous, and I think that's why they didn't commit forward. I think if they'd have won that first game, like we said, got the momentum much more in their favour from the beginning, it could have been completely different, because obviously that Game 2 performance was incredible. They could have gone 2-0 up, and then AGSB, well, we've seen them come back before, but 2-0 against Luxonate in the grand final on LAN would have been hard. And I can't say enough from AGSB. That first victory, very important with the 1-0 goal.
Yeah, absolutely superb. And I mean, to take a team that only lost 2 games the entire season and triple their loss rate in one night, I mean, it's an absolutely fantastic performance. And I just want to take a moment just to shout out the Luxonate players, because, I mean, I feel like we're giving them a little bit of a hard time. They have had an unprecedented season in terms of success. Absolutely dominant, doesn't even do it justice. Just absolutely ruled over the entirety of Division 1 like they were some sort of gods above everyone. But I think it was just that little bit of it was just too easy for them for too long, and that pressure was too much to handle at the final hurdle.
Well, you know, sometimes they say it's harder to stay at the top than it is to rise up there. And when you're the best team, who do you play to learn from? Who do you play to improve from? And I think maybe that's finally come back to haunt them with that long break, like you say, between this game. And unfortunately for them, it wasn't enough. But like you say, an incredible season. Phenomenal. Every time me and Elliot were looking at notes before the game, Luxonate were on, we thought it's gonna be a rough one. Luxonate are gonna be really strong, and the other team's gonna be up against it. But today, AGSB, they overcame the mountain. They bought their hiking boots, and they did a fantastic job.
And they didn't have any of their shoelaces untied. There were no trip-ups whatsoever. They had an absolutely immense rise to the top, and I just hope that they can savour it and enjoy it for as long as they get to, because very, very well done to overcome what had to be the hardest series of the season, and with so much pressure at LAN. I mean, let's go over to Waxon in the interview booth to see how they're getting on.